Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. So, today I have a calling to do a reading for the organization of Red Cross. And when I'm doing the research, I found that it is actually, um, we always call that Red Cross, but there's no such a thing called Red Cross Association. It is under the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, and the short form is IFRC, which is a worldwide humanitarian aid organization. It has 191 member national societies. So, um, most of us we know that Red Cross is very well-known organization in handling humanitarian crisis and to lend a hand to, the poor and the needy. So I would like to talk about this year, how it's gonna be for IFRC, or just Red Cross in general. Um, but I think I would point towards, and I will refer to IFRC because this is the main focus, and Red Cross is just gonna be um, underneath it. So we start the spread with the strength card. So IFRC has been dealing with a delicate situation before this year. Um, I think in some cases they were walking on eggshells, which means they were handling very delicate situation. And if they were not careful, there would be an outburst, um, and the situation would be difficult to be contained. Right now, they are dealing with the lack, of something, which is represented by the Five of Pentacles. So, uh, definitely they have a lot on their plate because of humanitarian crisis and the needy and the poor. So right now they are actually working on that particular matter. Seven of Pentacles crossing on top of it, meaning that um, is about a gestation period that they need to look back on how they treated the situations around the world, how they handled the crisis. So right now there are things that are prompting them to be introspective and to investigate about what has been done before. It can also mean waiting for something. I think they might be lacking in some kind of funding or resources this year. Something might be lacking in some cases, and they just have to wait for the input. What I can think about is there might be some resources that they actually need to operate, but this year, probably their stock has been depleted by the previous year's demands. So now they don't really have enough. But it's not like they're gonna be collapsed because of this lack. It just means that they have to wait for something, and it can actually obstruct the speed of the operation. So on the top of this spread, the justice card means there is major adjustment for the organization. And at the bottom is the Empress. Empress is about in traditional sense, it is about beauty, it is about money, it is about the nurturing quality of a person. When this is about the foundation of an organization, a humanitarian organization, that means the organization has the strength and power to nurture the things that need to be nurtured. So which is a very good thing. I would say it is a very good thing because Empress is also ruled by the planet Venus, which is about beauty, about money. So having Empress in the spread actually gives a very good vibe for the organization itself. Hopefully, this strong Venus foundation can actually offset the temporary stagnation of some kind of fundings or resources. King of Cups in the near future position. It means that they're gonna be emotionally matured in handling situations. They're not gonna be doing hasty decisions. So I think they are very sophisticated in making decisions about who they need to help and who they are not probably not gonna help. So so King of Cups is actually, this is a person or maybe a situation where it's very delicate and there are lots of instabilities around situations. So I think it is normal to see this card because for humanitarian situations, there are always lots of emotions that are involved when dealing with humanitarian things, because so many people are in crisis. But for IFRC, I think they're gonna use their resources wisely. So they do care about humanitarian crisis around the world, but they're gonna be careful about what they are helping. I believe that there are some regions they might not receive the help from IFRC because IFRC would consider that as probably as a threat. They will make very careful decisions on whether they should be involved or not. Even though they are charity, but they will make the right decision. So I think that means they're gonna lay down some strong principles on whether they're gonna involved or not. Because they think this is a better way to operate the charity organization. They cannot just send people and resources to places and then have problems. I think they kind of acknowledge some of the fundings and humanitarian efforts are actually not doing what they're supposed to be doing, or well, at the same time, some of the humanitarian efforts, they probably are not doing their best, even though the funding is already spent on those matters or those regions, but something is not working right. Um, that's why the Seven of Pentacles appears in this spread. That is about re-evaluating situations. And I think because of this re-evaluation, that actually leads to the energy of King of Cups, which is King of Cups is very, emotionally mature, but sometimes under certain circumstances, they're not gonna. Well, in this case, I think in generally, IFRC is not gonna be. Um, they might be giving out a vibe that is kind of distant and not very warm in some cases, because um, there are delicate situations where they cannot just say, "Oh, we want to help," even though they care about the situations, but because it is too delicate to simply say, "I want to help," or simply say, "Okay, we're gonna involve." So I don't know if that is about the red tapes that they have to deal with. It is possible. It is possible that even though they would like to help in some regions, maybe they are not allowed to help. So, so that's why I think the King of Cups in this case is about being emotionally matured and sophisticated, and not simply help without considering the consequences. So, so, so I would say, even though they will provide the assistance, it needs to meet some kind of criteria in order for in order to get their help. So the moon card in this spread means um, something is a little bit unstable. I think it is about the Five of Pentacles situation. Will that be related to Ukraine? It is possible. I think there are projects or humanitarian efforts that IFRC are actually very involved in, but then those situations are actually prolonged and taking more resources and time than expected. So that's why the moon card can actually mean uh, there are uncertainties and things are not very stable. I think it is about the logistics, and also, um, it's hard to kind of predict and calculate how much funding they should be spending on such matter, because they don't know how long it's gonna last. So something like that. And oh, and by the way, I have to also say that the King of Cups actually can also mean the crisis related to water. So I think somehow this year there might be occasions that the flooding in some regions that are actually serious enough to let IFRC to help. And after the moon card, it is a high priestess. High priestess energy is about secrecy. It's about wisdom. It's about intuition, And in this case, I think it is about how the public sees IFRC as a humanitarian organization. High business, when this appears, that means people somehow maybe losing their trust in this organization because they feel like the transparency is not there. They really want to know where the money is spent and how the organization distributes the money and blah blah blah. So I think the public wants to know more about the internal operation of IFRC and Red Cross in general. But I don't think they're gonna reveal a lot of you know information to the public because the high priestess it is a very wise energy. They feel like they need to keep things private, probably because um, they don't want those kind of unwanted problems. Maybe because of the donors or maybe the countries involved. So they have to preserve a certain level of privacy in their operations. And then the world card means completion. I think there's a major completion for IFRC or Red Cross in general. But the world card can also mean there are events all over the world that are catching the attention of IFRC and Red Cross. So they actually need to deal with really worldly matters. So obviously, the humanitarian crisis, it is not only limited to one region. I think it actually reaches a global level. So IFRC is going to be really busy to dealing with situations like that. Nine of Pentacles at the end of this spread means monetary gains and self-sufficiency. So which is the good side is, I would say, IFRC, Red Cross, they're gonna have more than enough to be self-sufficient as a humanitarian organization. So this actually gives them the stability financially to do what they need to do. But on the other hand, for the downside, it can be the way they manage money and fundings. Probably they want to keep a lot of money in the organization. But, as it is a humanitarian organization, I would say it is auspicious to see a card like Six of Pentacles in the spread or Six of Cups. But the thing is, I don't see either of them. So it's possible that IFRC or Red Cross, they are helping the world in a manner that is not very obvious. Or maybe in certain ways that are not simply only help. Because when Six of Cups and Six of Pentacles, when they appear, the giver, usually the person who has more resources, giving the little ones and the less fortunate ones. But both of them, they are not appearing in this spread. So it's possible that IFRC is using a very logical way to operate the charity. But charity is usually related to how people feels, and quite often there are some emotions involved. But in this case, it's just showing that this organization is very, I can't even say technical in handling matters. I don't see Six of Pentacles. I don't see Six of Cups. I think IFRC is very involved in dealing with the administration thing. But if we're talking about really taking the actions to really help the needy or the people who are affected by crisis, I think there might be some room for improvement, because in right now, some people they kind of don't have enough information to actually support Red Cross and IFRC, because they cannot get down to the truth. So for a charity organization, it's best to be transparent somehow. To be transparent about who are the people they are helping and how they help them, something like that. Yeah, so I think this is the general read for IFRC, which is the organization associated with Red Cross. This year, I think they're gonna be financially okay, but they're gonna be operating in a probably secretive manner. So let me put it this way. I think this is it. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining me today. If you like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, please leave that below. So I look forward to speak to you soon. And thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.